Hello everyone, you guys are watching Snack Chats, and today we are talking about Meta Runner, the new SMG4 Productions, or Glitch Productions as they're known as well.
You mean that new Australian animation?
Yes, funded by, off the top of my head, Epic Games, Crunchyroll, Unreal Engine, the Australian government, and pretty much if they breathe, they support Meta Runner.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, this just reminds me so much of Code Lyoko.
For those of you who don't know, SMG4 was pretty much a creator slash a series that did mostly, Mario parodies. But they branched
got really
off.
popular, like millions upon millions, no matter what videos.
Yep. And they got popular enough to make their own original series, Meta Runner. Although before they released Meta Runner, the character Tari became a frequent in the SMG4 videos.
Yeah, but she looks more like a cartoon there, while Tari here looks more like an anime.
Apparently they were developing Meta Runner the same time they were developing Tari for SMG4, so they were sort of like, I guess it's sort of
cross-promoting early on.
Yeah, Tari and SMG4 happened way before they even announced, Meta Runner, which is sort of, crazy to think about.
That the Australian government was secretly funding a Mario shitpost YouTube.
I mean, it's weird. You wouldn't expect those types of videos to have so many sponsors as they do.
Because, wouldn't Nintendo get on, a copyright thing? Because they're obviously stolen models from, the model resource. Oh well.
So, out of nowhere, it seemed like they dropped this idea for a series called Meta Runner.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, they were teasing it for a bit, but when they finally showed it off, they showed off a snippet from an episode that they were making, and surprisingly, the animation looked really good. And they're animating this all in a game engine.
I mean, I can definitely see it being a game engine thing. There's so many little, technical problems that are happening in it, and also, the graphics being put into it that I'm just yeah, this is Code Lyoko.
So before we talk about the series itself, we just want to let you guys know that this is a spoiler-free discussion, and we highly recommend the series. I mean, it's free on YouTube. Go watch it now.
It's 100% free. Do they even have a Patreon?
I think they do have a Patreon, but they're getting so much support from, everyone as well.
Right. It's just crazy. It's how...
If you know any company off the top of your head, they're probably supporting Meta Runner.
I mean, it's sort of how Team 4-Star became, an actual English dub company.
Yeah. So, since we did watch the entirety of the first season, what did you think of it?
Like I said, Code Lyoko feels, because it's free, I don't really judge it too much. The story is intriguing enough to, follow on a YouTube basis.
Yeah.
But if it was, on Hulu or Netflix, especially on Netflix, I would probably just think of it as, another Tarzan or some stupid little anime type of a thing to market a toy line.
I don't know, I think that's being a bit harsh. I think with the resources that they have, they've made really stylish character designs. I mean, just Tari alone looks really good.
I mean, if we didn't know about the history, I wouldn't have even really given it the time of day.
I mean, after the first episode, you got super hooked. You were like, wait, that's it? I want to know what happens next.
Well, I didn't know a YouTube series would leave it off at a cliffhanger. And
what did you think of, the overall story?
I mean, it feels like I'm intrigued enough to be raring to go for season 2, but the thing is that just it feels pretty cookie cutter.
I think my biggest issue with the series is probably just the pacing, because they try to cut up in 15-minute episodes like a modern cartoon, but it feels like some episodes would have flow better if they were just combined together. You could see this with the last 2 episodes, or episodes 3 and 4 early on. So with the 15-minute format, sometimes it feels like a whole lot of nothing is happening. There was just this one episode where they were trying to train to do a specific thing, and they do the specific thing and they're like, yeah, we did it, and then they're like, yep, and then end of the episode.
I feel like the most interesting thing is Theo, where...
I guess very light spoilers. Theo is a game character that sort of comes to the real world because of Tari's abilities to jump into the games themselves.
I like how they're handling how video game characters come to life.
The dialogue with Theo does remind me a lot of some like Wreck-It Ralph, where he openly acknowledges that he's in a video game, and like there's lines like in the second episode where Tari's like, man, you talk about death a lot, and then he's like, well, I do it all the time.
Wow, that was amazing! See? And you didn't even die. You know, for a kid, you talk about death an awful lot. Yeah, I die a lot.
Yeah.
It's a strong roster of characters. Characters that you'd think would turn out to be annoying or something don't end up that way, and
The comic relief doesn't get annoying. To be honest, I thought I was going to despise Theo, but he's the most interesting part, in my opinion.
just characters like Lamar, who could have just ended up being like really one-note and annoying, end up being enjoyable characters.
Which one's Lamar?
He's the anime-obsessed one
Oh,
that
yeah.
unironically eats dinner with a body pillow.
Exactly.
Although it was kind of funny at the beginning where he rescues Tari right before the car chase, and she's like, wait, is that a body pillow?
Who are you?
Damn, that's an interesting way to say thank you to someone who just saved your ass.
This is Lamar. He's here to help us. Is that a body pillow in the back?
Huh? Oh yeah, that's Nova-chan. Don't worry, she's chill.
I like her.
Yeah, it breaks the pacing, but it's great. There are some like great little funny gags that would never be done by like a normal professional company that really get in here. Like, what is it? We were mentioning how in one episode they were going over like how they didn't make up their own version of speed running a game.
Oh yeah, they're really faithful to like a lot of like actual gaming culture. Like at the beginning of the series, you see a character like trying to speedrun a game, and it's not like a very vanilla washed down version of speedrunning that you would see on like a kid's cartoon. It was literally like they're trying to break the game in order to like jump to the ends, like go through invisible walls and all that.
And they
And
go
it feels
over
like-
the like intricate details of like frames per second and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like they're going into detail like this for like
If any other show tried to pull something like this off, it would be like, oh yeah, they just play the video games really fast because that's what they can do. While in this one, they acknowledge that, yeah, sometimes in order to like break a world record of a speedrun, you need to actually sort of break the game, go through the platforms, break through invisible walls, and that'll just like launch you to the end.
That's another interesting
Like using exploits and all that.
Yeah. That's the thing that's interesting about Metarunner is that wondering what they're going to do for the story that isn't implemented in mainstream media, because they're definitely more like by fans for fans type of a thing, where they're not going to pull any punches from corporate, even though they're produced by they're governmentally funded by Australia.
I think that's just sort of a thing Australia does, because like remember when we were watching like a video about Untitled Goose Game, and their game before it, Push Me Pull You, I think it was called, was also funded by the Australian government.
Yeah, I think Australia
will just throw money at people who are making things
in Australia.
And what I do like about the show is that they make really cool looking fake video games. I mean, obviously the show is all about the video games, but they could have like half-assed it and made like some fake video game that you would see in the background of a TV show.
What? Oh shit now! I don't hear you! I don't hear you! Eat this! Eat that! Eat this! Eat that! You're gone, baby! You're dead! Bye-bye!
Jeez. What's the point of this?
Like my man 50 said, get rich, die trying.
That doesn't look real at all. But like they make some interesting concepts that I'm pretty sure like someone's got to steal for a game design.
I mean, it's better than
Like-
what we see in mobile game ripoffs.
I mean, just one idea that they had for a game was like a battle royale, but instead of guns, it's all like wizards and magical spells. And I thought, wow, that is a really cool idea. I'm surprised no one thought of that yet.
Well, the thing is that Battle Royale is still fresh.
I mean, I'm just saying though.
I mean, but League of Legends.
That is a battle royale.
It's not Battle Royale, but I don't know. In my opinion, it's close enough. I don't like League of Legends, even though that's like part
I mean,
of
I just like
history.
the idea of like being thrown onto a map and instead of like finding guns, you're finding spell books that give you all these crazy abilities.
Which is a really nice concept. Soccer, I get on that.
And just the game that Theo's from looks like a legit 3D platformer that you would probably play.
Yeah.
I do think that the world that they built was really interesting. Like, if mainstream media was like super obsessed with MLG
Gaming.
sports, Major League Gaming,
Well, the thing is that we are getting into that. I feel like by
this is gonna be the future.
What?
Simpsons predicted phones, and fucking Metarunner predicted MLG gaming.
I mean, colleges are already like making it their advertising point, where they're just like, we have our own competitive video game scene. Any final thoughts?
I guess final thoughts for season 1 as a whole. Characters are great, story's great, pacing's the worst aspect of it, but it doesn't ruin the show. I'm sure if you watch it now, all the episodes all at once, like if you binge through it, that issue sort of vanishes.
It shows.
But we watched it while it was still updating bi-weekly,
Right.
so at least I personally noticed the odd pacing.
I don't really check for odd pacing, but the thing is that this is obviously like a passion project of just a small group of people, and I'm more excited on what they'll do out of the norm while still staying on like a normal beat, you know? It's very interesting to see because we rarely get something like this because they obviously have always wanted to do something like that.
Yeah. My final thoughts for Metarunner is that it's like RWBY, but good.
Exactly.
I guess before we sign off, we did get a bonus episode featuring the Odd Ones Out and Aaron Hansen. What did you think of that?
I thought it was funny. Like, I feel like that's the best episode.
Let's humanize these big mega corporations. I really want to bone the Wendy's chick now. I guess the thing that I was a fan of this like little bonus episode was that I was a big fan of just everything being in like a white void.
Well, that was just mainly referencing Odd Ones Out.
I know.
Type of thing.
I sort of wish they went with a really simplistic style, like various phone games or like puzzle games that you could get on the phone. I thought it was like really fun that they brought Aaron and whatever the odds ones out, James.
Yeah.
I thought they brought a lot of the comedy, and I think Tari being there, just sort of the straight man in between this like huge conflict, was crazy.
And sort of gives them an existential crisis, however you say that.
Yeah, and this episode did have a fight scene, which was just sort of hilarious between Aaron Hansen and the Odd Ones Out.
One thing that I really liked about this is just mainly how they animated them. It was like being truthful to their style while also making them 3D.
I mean, it was kind of weird seeing like James being the only one that sort of had like the pop in and out style, while when Aaron showed up, he was animated regularly.
Yeah, but they were animated sort of similarly.
Well, their faces were, because they had the 2D faces.
Yeah, I was honestly sort of hoping that they would animate them in 2D, so like it would be a nice contradiction to Tari.
Yeah, like Paper Mario characters, that would have been funny.
Yeah, or like it could have been a nice nod towards like a different type of animation and see how well they fend off with it.
Yeah. I guess to jump back into the actual show, just because I realized the whole thing is them jumping into games, but I didn't think they went crazy enough with it, because it was all just, you know, fairly basic games, or at least they didn't go far enough with Tari, because I thought it would have been cool if they entered a game where it really changed up the style, and they had to like change her design to a point where it changed her model.
Oh.
Because she does have some costume changes, but like actually change the way she looks.
I'll answer that. It's really hard to change up the style and the engine they're using. There's a very limited amount they can do, and what they're doing right now is basically the extent of it.
Although talking about model changes, in the first episode they do have a reference to the SMG4 Tari when she's walking past one of the monitors, if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
Like, when she's stumbling around the city, like she walks past like a game that captures her motion, and like on the screen is the SMG4 version of her.
Nice.
And on the other screen a guy's playing it, and it's Axel from SMG4. Also, back to the bonus episode, a Grumps burger sounds surprisingly kind of good.
My sandwich is simple. Pretzel bun, beef patties, bacon, and you want to get real experimental, honey and and peanut butter. Oh God, yes, the peanut butter.
I mean, I just think that sounds like weirdly good.
Like I said, I still gotta bring you to Boston Burger Company for that.
Is that the one where they have the burger that's just two, like, instead of a bun, they just slice a whole head of lettuce in half, and that's what you get for a bun?
I think that is an option, actually, but...
Like, fucking, you want to eat this fucking head of lettuce with a burger in the middle?
Yes.
Okay.
I hate lettuce, but that will be it.
Well, Meta Runner's a great show, and you can watch it for free on YouTube, so it has our full recommendation. Go watch it right now. We're hoping that Season 2 ends up being really good like the first. Second verse, same as the first.
Bingo bongo.
Anyway, you guys have a good night, good morning, whatever, and thank you again for watching Snack Chats. Please like, subscribe, anything helps.
Comment.
Later.
Later.
It's only magic. Isn't it amazing when you know? Every second that you see is 24 connected pieces. Thank you for coming, thank you for staying, thank you for watching the show.